So I just finished reading Miss Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and I have mixed feelings about this book, so let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Zita Bano and welcome to my channel. So explaining this book is easy and it's not so easy as well. If I am to give a surface level explanation, I'd say that this book is a sneak peek of a single day in a life of a high society woman. But of course there is more to it since this book is written by Virginia Woolf, but in my opinion there is not much of a plot line in this book. The only plot that we follow is Mrs. Dalloway throwing a party, because in the first chapter she's buying some flowers for that party, and in the last two chapters we actually see that party happening. But other than that, this is a character driven book, and of course the main character is Mrs. Dalloway, her lover Sally and Peter, and there is also another story within the story of Septimus, who is war veteran, and we get to know about him and his wife, but I'll get back to it in a bit. So basically in Mrs. Dalloway we get to know these characters, their past lives, their inclinations and their personalities. Why do I have mixed feelings about this book? If we're talking about impeccable writing, beautiful wording, analogies, and also the understanding of human beings and the capacity to put that understanding into words, then Virginia Woolf is the queen. And to make you understand, I want to read something from this book. Sometimes in life, when we are completely happy and content, what we start doing is that we start digging dirt. We indulge into excessive self-reflection to the point where we find something that will make us unhappy. This is how Virginia Woolf puts it. As a person who has dropped some grain of pearl or diamond into the grass and parts the tall blades very carefully, this way and that, and searches here and there vainly, and at last spies it there at the roots. This is what we do. We keep searching for something that will make us unhappy until we find it. I mean, give her the crown already. But I like to think myself as someone who likes reading challenging books, but this book was challenging in an unsettling way. I of course wanted to read more of Virginia Woolf, and also this writing style, stream of consciousness. This writing style consists of incessant internal monologues so that the reader can connect with the emotional state of the character. See, if you listen to your own thoughts, they are not coherent all the time, and that's how Virginia Woolf wrote these monologues. She cuts off mid-sentence, begins another one, and then goes back to the very same sentence. Just like how we think. We're thinking about one thing, then another thought pops up, and then we start thinking about it, then we start thinking about the first one, and so on and so forth. But reading that and understanding that was not only difficult, but it was unsettling, because I was sometimes not able to really understand what the character was thinking. And I wouldn't say that I hated it, but I didn't love it either. And as I mentioned before about Septimus, Septimus was a story for another book and for another day. There is an extensive chapter on Septimus, and I could not understand the link between Septimus and Dalloway throwing a party, or even when she was reminiscing about her own past, because Septimus was not the person that she has met in her life. The only connection that Septimus had, and I'm laughing because I just gave a spoiler that I'll have to edit afterwards, but the only connection that Septimus had with Mrs. Dalloway was that in the end people in the party were talking about him, and Mrs. Dalloway thinks that she's somewhat like him. Okay, lastly, do I recommend this book? I would not recommend this book, because I think recommending this book would be unfair, because I really truly wanted to read a stream of consciousness writing style, and after reading this book, now I am afraid of reading that sort of literature. This book took 7 hours to finish, and this book is just 170 pages, and I call myself a moderate reader. It was extremely difficult for me. Sometimes I had to reread the paragraphs, and then I had to read them again just to understand them. So no, I would not be recommending this book. But again, this is totally my opinion. If you like reading difficult books, then this book is going to be an experience for sure. And that is it. See you next time with another book.